Before we begin, take a moment to get comfortable. Let your shoulders relax and allow your breathing to slow naturally. Welcome to dreaming. Tonight, there's nowhere you need to go and nothing you need to do. As you listen, you can simply rest, letting each word drift by, soft and unhurried, like distant footsteps fading into the night. This is a quiet story, told slowly, not to wake the mind, but to gently guide it toward rest. The ancient city of Rome begins to settle into night without ceremony or urgency. The transition feels natural and unremarkable, as if the city has performed the same quiet movement thousands of times before and sees no reason to hurry now. The sky above slowly changes from a soft, muted blue into a deeper shade of calm darkness. And this change happens so gradually that it is almost impossible to notice the exact moment when day becomes night. There is no sharp contrast, no sudden shift, only a smooth blending of light into shadow. The air cools slightly as evening deepens, remaining steady and still. There is no strong wind moving through the streets, no sudden breeze to disturb the calm. The atmosphere feels balanced and settled, carrying no urgency and no expectation. Breathing feels easy here, unforced and slow, as if the city itself is guiding everything toward rest. Stone streets that were busy earlier in the day now lie flat and quiet beneath the darkening sky. These stones have been walked on for centuries, shaped and smoothed by countless footsteps, carts, and passing lives. At night, however, they rest patiently, undisturbed and unchanged. The surface of the road feels cool in the imagination, evenly laid and familiar, offering no surprises and no need for attention. The city does not rush into sleep. Instead, it drifts there slowly, calmly, and without resistance. Lamps are lit carefully along the streets, one by one, each producing a soft and steady glow. The light does not stretch far or attempts to brighten the darkness completely. It simply illuminates a small, comfortable space before fading naturally into shadow. The shadows that form are smooth and gentle, resting against walls and doorways without movement or mystery. Buildings along the streets stand close together, their stone walls holding warmth from the day. Wooden doors remain shut, settled firmly in place. Small windows appear dark or faintly lit from within, suggesting quiet interiors and resting lives. There are no voices rising from inside, no sounds of activity. Curtains hang still, and nothing behind them moves quickly or demands notice. As the night continues, the familiar layout of Rome becomes softer in the dim light. Corners blur slightly, edges lose their sharpness. The city begins to feel less like a collection of structures and more like a single, unified presence resting together. Everything feels predictable, stable, and reassuring, offering the mind no new information to process and no reason to remain alert. In the distance, public spaces such as forums and temples fade into darkness. During the day, these places hold movement and purpose, but now they remain completely unused. Columns rise quietly into the night sky, unchanged and patient. Wide steps sit empty and cool, waiting without expectation. Nothing important happens here at night, and that absence of activity feels calming rather than strange. The passage of time becomes less noticeable as the evening deepens. There is no sound urging the minutes forward. Any clocks inside nearby homes move slowly and quietly, marking time without pressure. Moments blend smoothly into one another, and it becomes difficult to separate one from the next. This gentle flow allows thoughts to stretch out and soften, losing their edges and their urgency. Somewhere nearby, water flows through a small fountain in a courtyard. The sound is soft, repetitive, and consistent. It does not change in volume or rhythm. It simply continues, providing a steady background that blends seamlessly with the silence of the night. The sound is easy to ignore, and just as easy to follow without effort. The air holds a faint scent of stone and earth, unchanged and familiar. Plants resting near buildings remain still, their leaves barely moving, if at all. When they do move, the motion is slow and gentle, and they return quickly to stillness. Nothing lingers and nothing builds. As the city continues to settle, the sense of calm deepens. Breathing becomes slower, muscles relax naturally. There is nothing to anticipate and nothing to resolve. The steady rhythm of ancient Rome at night offers a sense of safety and continuity, reminding the imagination that this moment requires no action. The night continues quietly, holding the city in its calm embrace. Streets remain empty, lamps glow softly, buildings stand unchanged. The sky deepens without drama. Everything moves together toward rest, slowly and patiently, allowing the mind to drift comfortably within the steady rhythm of a city that knows how to sleep. The ancient city of Rome begins to settle into night without ceremony or urgency. The transition feels natural and unremarkable, as if the city has performed the same quiet movement thousands of times before and sees no reason to hurry now. The sky above slowly changes from a soft, muted blue into a deeper shade of calm darkness, and this change happens so gradually that it is almost impossible to notice the exact moment when day becomes night. There is no sharp contrast, no sudden shift, only a smooth blending of light into shadow. The air cools slightly as evening deepens, remaining steady and still. There is no strong wind moving through the streets, no sudden breeze to disturb the calm. The atmosphere feels balanced and settled, carrying no urgency and no expectation. Breathing feels easy here, unforced and slow, as if the city itself is guiding everything toward rest. Stone streets that were busy earlier in the day now lie flat and quiet beneath the darkening sky. These stones have been walked on for centuries, shaped and smoothed by countless footsteps, carts, and passing lives. At night, however, they rest patiently, undisturbed and unchanged. The surface of the road feels cool in the imagination, evenly laid and familiar, offering no surprises and no need for attention. The city does not rush into sleep. Instead, it drifts there slowly, calmly, and without resistance. Lamps are lit carefully along the streets, one by one, each producing a soft and steady glow. The light does not stretch far or attempt to brighten the darkness completely. It simply illuminates a small, comfortable space before fading naturally into shadow. The shadows that form are smooth and gentle, resting against walls and doorways without movement or mystery. Stone buildings along the streets stand close together, their stone walls holding warmth from the day. Wooden doors remain shut, settled firmly in place. Small windows appear dark or faintly lit from within, suggesting quiet interiors and resting lives. There are no voices rising from inside, no sounds of activity. Curtains hang still, and nothing behind them moves quickly or demands notice. As the night continues, the familiar layout of Rome becomes softer in the dim light. Corners blur slightly, edges lose their sharpness. The city begins to feel less like a collection of structures and more like a single, unified presence resting together. Everything feels predictable, stable, and reassuring, offering the mind no new information to process and no reason to remain alert. In the distance, public spaces such as forums and temples fade into darkness. During the day, these places hold movement and purpose, but now they remain completely unused. Columns rise quietly into the night sky, unchanged and patient. Wide steps sit empty and cool, waiting without expectation. Nothing important happens here at night, and that absence of activity feels calming rather than strange. The passage of time becomes less noticeable as the evening deepens. There is no sound urging the minutes forward. Any clocks inside nearby homes move slowly and quietly, marking time without pressure. Moments blend smoothly into one another, and it becomes difficult to separate one from the next. This gentle flow allows thoughts to stretch out and soften, losing their edges and their urgency. Somewhere nearby, water flows through a small fountain in a courtyard. The sound is soft, repetitive, and consistent. It does not change in volume or rhythm. It simply continues, providing a steady background that blends seamlessly with the silence of the night. The sound is easy to ignore, and just as easy to follow without effort. The air holds a faint scent of stone and earth, unchanged and familiar. Plants resting near buildings remain still, their leaves barely moving, if at all. When they do move, the motion is slow and gentle, and they return quickly to stillness. Nothing lingers, and nothing builds. As the city continues to settle, the sense of calm deepens. Breathing becomes slower, muscles relax naturally. There is nothing to anticipate and nothing to resolve. The steady rhythm of ancient Rome at night offers a sense of safety and continuity, reminding the imagination that this moment requires no action. The night continues quietly, holding the city in its calm embrace. Streets remain empty, lamps glow softly, buildings stand unchanged. The sky deepens without drama. Everything moves together toward rest, slowly and patiently, allowing the mind to drift comfortably within the steady rhythm of a city that knows how to sleep. Along the narrow streets of the ancient city, simple Roman homes remain closed and peaceful as the night settles fully. Wooden doors stay firmly shut, resting in place without sound or movement. These doors have been opened and closed many times before, and now they seem content to remain still. Small windows line the walls, showing either complete darkness or a faint, steady glow from a lamp inside. The light does not flicker or change, and it suggests quiet interiors rather than activity. Inside these homes, families have already finished their evening meals. Clay dishes rest exactly where they were placed, stacked neatly or left to dry without urgency. The sounds of conversation and movement that filled the rooms earlier in the day have faded completely. There is no clatter, no laughter, and no footsteps moving quickly across the floors. Everything feels paused, as if the house itself has decided to rest. Curtains hang still across the windows, untouched by wind or motion. The fabric lies softly, creating gentle shadows that do not shift or draw attention. The air inside these homes feels warm and settled, holding the lingering comfort of shared meals and familiar routines. It is the kind of warmth that does not need to be noticed. It simply exists, steady and reassuring. The rooms inside these homes are simple and practical. Furniture remains exactly where it has always been, unchanged and reliable. Tables stand clear, holding no clutter or unfinished tasks. Chairs are pushed in close, waiting for nothing. Shelves hold ordinary objects, pots, tools, folded cloth, arranged in familiar patterns that require no thought or decision. Beds made of wood and woven materials sit quietly in their places, prepared for rest. Blankets lie flat and heavy, untouched and inviting. Pillows hold their shape, offering no impression of movement yet. The sleeping spaces feel calm and predictable, encouraging the body to slow down naturally. A small lamp burns low in one corner of the room, providing just enough light to soften the space without illuminating it fully. The flame remains steady and calm, casting gentle shadows that rest against the walls. The light does not shift or demand attention. It simply fills the room evenly, allowing everything to appear softer and less defined. Time inside these homes feels different from time outside. The movement of hours becomes less noticeable. Any clocks or simple timekeeping tools move slowly and quietly, marking the night without sound or pressure. There is no reason to count minutes or watch the passage of time. Moments blend together smoothly, creating a sense of continuity and ease. The kitchen areas remain clean and settled. Water jars sit untouched. Cooking tools rest quietly where they were placed. Nothing suggests the need for preparation or work. The day's tasks have been completed, and the next day's responsibilities feel distant and unimportant. In sleeping rooms, breathing becomes slow and even. Bodies settle into beds naturally without effort or tension. Muscles relax. The mind releases its hold on plans and concerns. The familiar environment offers reassurance through its sameness and reliability. Outside, the night surrounds these homes gently, but it does not intrude. Thick walls hold the quiet inside, protecting the resting spaces from interruption. Sounds from the street, if any exist at all, remain distant and faint, blending easily into the calm. These ordinary Roman homes do not hold excitement or anticipation. They are not waiting for anything to happen. They exist simply to provide shelter, warmth, and rest. Everything inside feels settled, familiar, and unchanged, as if time itself has chosen to slow down within these walls. As the night continues, nothing shifts or changes. Lamps burn steadily, curtains remain still, doors stay closed. The routine of rest repeats itself without variation. The homes remain peaceful, holding their quiet carefully and allowing sleep to deepen naturally. The longer the imagination lingers inside these resting homes, the slower everything feels. Thoughts stretch out and lose their urgency. Breathing deepens. Awareness softens. The steady calm of these ordinary Roman homes guides the body gently towards sleep, offering a sense of safety and rest that requires no effort and no attention. In quiet courtyards between the stone buildings of the ancient city, fountains continue their gentle and unchanging flow. These courtyards are small and enclosed, protected from the wider streets, and they feel especially still at night. The stone walls around them rise calmly, holding the space together and keeping everything contained. Nothing enters suddenly, and nothing leaves in a hurry. The courtyard exists as it always has, unchanged and patient. At the center of many courtyards, a simple fountain releases water in a steady, continuous stream. The water moves slowly, falling into shallow basins with a soft and even sound. It does not splash or rush. It does not increase or decrease in volume. The rhythm remains the same from one moment to the next, predictable and soothing. The sound blends naturally into the night, becoming part of the background rather than something to notice. The stone floors of the courtyards feel cool and empty in the imagination. Their surfaces are smooth from years of quiet use, and at this hour they hold no footsteps. The stones reflect faint light from nearby lamps or windows, but the reflections remain dull and steady. Shadows lie flat across the ground, unmoving and gentle, resting where they have settled. Small plants grow along the edges of the courtyards, resting quietly in pots or narrow patches of soil. Their leaves appear dark and still in the low light. When a light breeze passes through, the leaves move only slightly, swaying for a brief moment before returning quickly to complete stillness. The movement is subtle and slow, and it leaves no lasting change. The air in the courtyards feels cooler than inside the surrounding homes. It remains steady and calm, carrying no sharp scents or sudden temperature shifts. The faint smell of damp stone and earth lingers softly, familiar and unchanged. Breathing in this air feels easy and unforced, matching the slow rhythm of the fountain's flow. Nothing important happens in these courtyards. There are no conversations, no footsteps, and no sudden sounds. The space offers nothing new to observe and nothing to remember. Each moment feels the same as the one before it, and this repetition becomes comforting rather than dull. The mind does not need to stay alert here. It can rest within the sameness. Occasionally, a distant sound from elsewhere in the city reaches the courtyard, but it arrives softened and muted by the stone walls. It blends easily into the background and fades without drawing attention. The fountain continues uninterrupted, steady and reliable, maintaining its calm rhythm. Time seems to slow within the courtyard. The passing of minutes becomes difficult to track. There is no clock to watch and no reason to measure the night. Moments stretch out smoothly, blending into one another without edges. The repetition of sound and stillness creates a gentle loop that feels endless and safe. The surrounding buildings remain dark and quiet. Windows that face the courtyard show no movement. Curtains remain still, doors stay closed. The walls absorb sound and hold warmth, protecting the interior spaces while allowing the courtyard to remain cool and open. The longer the imagination lingers here, the more settled everything feels. Thoughts begin to slow, following the predictable rhythm of the water. Muscles relax without instruction. Breathing deepens naturally, matching the slow flow that never changes. The fountain continues to release water in the same way it always has, and the courtyard continues to hold its calm. Nothing shifts, nothing surprises. The repetition remains unbroken, offering a steady background for rest. As the night deepens, the courtyard remains exactly as it is, quiet, cool, and unchanged. The gentle sound of water blends completely into the silence, and the stillness settles more deeply into the space. The calm repeats itself without variation, guiding the mind toward relaxation and allowing sleep to arrive naturally, slowly, and without effort. The great public spaces of Rome rest quietly under the darkened sky. Temples, forums, and bathhouses stand silent and unused, their presence steady and unchanged. During the day, these places carry voices, movement, and purpose. At night, they release all of it. They no longer demand attention or action. They simply remain where they are, resting without effort. Tall stone columns rise calmly into the darkness, their outlines faint but clear against the night sky. They do not appear dramatic or imposing. They stand as they always have, straight and patient, holding nothing but their own weight. The air around them remains still, and no shadows move quickly across their surfaces. Everything feels slow and settled. Marble steps leading into temples remain empty. Their surfaces feel cool and smooth in the imagination, untouched by feet or hands. These steps do not lead anyone anywhere tonight. They serve no immediate purpose. They exist only as part of the structure, resting quietly and waiting without expectation. Inside the temples, darkness fills the open spaces. Statues remain unseen but present, standing exactly where they were placed long ago. No candles are lit, no prayers are spoken. The silence inside is complete and uninterrupted. The air feels heavy with stillness, yet calm and unthreatening. Time seems to pause within these walls. The Roman forums, once filled with discussion and movement, now stretch open and empty. Stone paths cross the wide spaces, but no one follows them. The ground holds no footsteps and no sound. The night settles evenly across the forum, covering everything with the same quiet presence. Nothing competes for attention. Nothing asks to be remembered. Nearby bathhouses rest in the same way. Pools remain still, their waters dark and unmoving. Steam no longer rises. Warmth fades slowly from the stone walls. Benches sit empty, and corridors stretch quietly into shadow. These spaces, once designed for activity and conversation, now exist only as silent structures holding their shape. The air across these public spaces feels cooler and more open than in the narrow streets. It moves slowly, if at all, and carries no sharp scents or sudden changes. Breathing feels steady and natural here, unforced and calm. The night does not hurry. It allows everything to remain exactly as it is. No ceremonies take place in the temples. No gatherings occur in the forums. No footsteps echo through the bathhouses. The city allows these spaces to pause completely, as if acknowledging that nothing is required of them until morning. There is no urgency and no expectation. Rest is permitted here. Occasionally, a distant sound from another part of the city drifts through the open spaces, but it arrives softened and fades quickly. The silence returns without effort. The structures remain unchanged, absorbing sound and releasing it slowly back into stillness. The longer the imagination lingers among these resting spaces, the more the sense of time begins to dissolve. Minutes lose their shape. The repetition of stillness becomes soothing rather than empty. Thoughts begin to slow, matching the calm rhythm of the night. These public places do not carry emotion or tension at this hour. They hold no memories that demand attention. They simply exist, strong and quiet, allowing the mind to rest beside them. The weight of the stone feels grounding and stable, offering a sense of permanence and safety. As the night deepens, the temples and forums remain exactly the same. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to change. The darkness settles more completely, and the silence grows deeper, yet never uncomfortable. The city rests, and these great public spaces rest with it. Columns stand, Steps remain empty, and open courtyards stay still. The night continues without interruption, and the calm spreads naturally, guiding the mind toward rest, easing thought into quiet, and allowing sleep to arrive slowly, gently, and without effort. Time continues to move in the quiet city, but it does so gently and without pressure. There is no urgency in its passage, no sharp moments demanding attention. The hours stretch slowly, blending one into the next. Outside, the streets lie empty. Inside homes, simple clocks mark the hours in slow, almost invisible steps. Their hands move carefully, deliberately, yet without making a sound that draws notice. There is no ticking that interrupts the calm. The movement of time becomes almost imperceptible, fading into the background as if it is not moving at all. Minutes blend smoothly into one another, and no one feels the need to measure or count them. The present moment expands naturally, holding everything within it evenly. The flow of time seems wide and gentle, creating a steady rhythm that does not rush or pause. Breathing follows this rhythm. Each inhale is slow, each exhale even slower. The body softens with each cycle, relaxing deeper as the awareness of time's passage becomes gentle and effortless. Within the quiet homes of Rome, light glows softly through windows. Lamps burn low, casting warm yellow hues that barely reach the stone floors. Shadows remain unchanging, stretching quietly across walls and furniture. In this calm environment, clocks continue to mark time, their presence noticed only if one chooses to observe. Yet even if noticed, there is no urgency, there is nothing to chase or measure. Time simply moves, silently, predictably, and patiently. The effect of this slow passage is soothing. Thoughts begin to soften, stretching out without sharp edges or abrupt transitions. The mind does not grasp or cling to the past, and it does not hurry toward the future. It floats lightly within the gentle flow of time. Each moment overlaps seamlessly with the next, creating a continuous arc that feels steady and reassuring. Awareness itself feels lighter, as if supported by the slow, reliable rhythm of the world around it. Even in the streets, time moves in the same unpressured way. Lamps hang in silent rows, casting pools of light onto the worn stone paths. Doors remain closed, and windows hold faint glows. There are no footsteps to disrupt the calm. No carts roll across the streets. No voices echo. The city itself rests, and time drifts along with it, steady and unwavering. In courtyards, fountains continue their gentle flow. Water moves slowly into shallow basins, producing a soft, repetitive sound that blends into the silence. Each drop seems in sync with the invisible rhythm of time, marking its passage without demanding notice. Leaves of nearby plants sway occasionally when a light breeze passes, returning immediately to stillness. Everything around aligns with the unhurried flow of moments, reinforcing a sense of calm and continuity. Inside the homes, families remain at rest. Blankets lie heavy across beds. Pillows hold the quiet shape of unoccupied heads. The air itself feels dense with comfort, encouraging relaxation and ease. The soft glow of lamps and the faint, deliberate movement of clock hands create an environment in which nothing is urgent. Time is a gentle companion rather than a force that drives. Outside, The cityscape seems to expand in response to this rhythm. Stone steps, empty courtyards, and silent streets all share the same slow flow. The vastness of space feels connected to the gentle movement of time. Shadows stretch and merge with light, blending past and present into one seamless moment. Even the distant hills beyond the city appear still and patient, holding the night and the sky in quiet alignment. The longer the imagination lingers within this setting, the more natural it becomes to release tension. Muscles soften and sink into surfaces. Breathing grows deeper, more even, perfectly matched with the unpressured rhythm of hours. Thoughts lose urgency. The mind drifts lazily, following the calm flow of time. There is no need for focus, no need to plan, no reason to act. The day, the night, and the hours between move gently, steadying everything that exists. Time passing without notice creates a sense of wide, steady safety. The awareness of each moment blends seamlessly into the next, forming an unbroken chain of calm. The body relaxes further, encouraged by the consistency. The mind finds space to wander softly, to drift without effort, without interruption. Every breath, every heartbeat, and every silent movement in the environment seems synchronized with this slow, unpressured passage. By now, the quiet rhythm of the city, the homes, the streets, and the faintly moving clock hands merges into a single continuous presence. Sleep arrives naturally alongside the gentle flow of time. Thoughts and sensations soften. Awareness becomes diffuse, settling into the wide, calm arc of the night. Time moves on, but it no longer matters. There is nothing to chase, nothing to anticipate. There is only the gentle, steady, patient passing of moments, carrying the mind and body effortlessly into rest. The night stretches fully across the city. Lamps glow steadily. Fountains murmur softly. Stone paths and empty courtyards remain unmoving. Clocks continue their quiet work, invisible yet perfectly reliable. The body sinks deeper into calm, the mind drifts with ease, and the gentle, uninterrupted passage of time allows sleep to arrive fully, naturally, and peacefully. Across Rome, the city holds itself in quiet unity, as if every stone, wall, and doorway has agreed to remain still together. Streets stretch empty under the soft, muted glow of lamps, and nothing moves quickly or demands attention. The city seems suspended in a calm rhythm, a gentle pulse that carries no urgency. Every corner, every courtyard, every distant hill shares this same steady presence, creating a sense of completeness that is reassuring and safe. The lamps continue to glow softly, casting pools of warm light onto stone paths. Their illumination reaches just far enough to outline the shapes of buildings and steps, yet fades naturally into shadow. The light does not flicker, flare, or change in intensity. It rests evenly across the city, giving a gentle sense of direction without asking for movement. The streets beneath remain empty, smooth, and steady, holding the footsteps of countless generations in memory, but offering no echo of sound at this hour. Buildings of all sizes remain perfectly still. Simple homes, grand temples, and public forms hold their shapes without change. Windows show faint light in some cases, while others remain dark, untouched by interior movement. Doors remain closed, as though resting in the quiet promise of unbroken hours. Each wall stands firm, absorbing nothing and offering nothing but stability. The air surrounding these structures is calm and cool, moving slowly, brushing lightly across stone, and carrying no sudden sounds. Even the gentle wind seems measured, careful not to disrupt the balance of the night. The city feels unified in its stillness. There are no voices carrying across courtyards, no carts rolling over streets, no horses clattering on stone. The fountains murmur softly in private gardens, their water moving slowly, repeating the same pattern over and over without urgency. Each droplet blends naturally into the surrounding quiet. Leaves of trees sway just enough to remind the imagination of life, yet they return immediately to calm, merging into the overall rhythm. Even distant hills appear motionless, holding their shapes patiently, as if sharing in the collective rest of the city. Nothing interrupts this balance. Nothing begins or ends. Every moment flows into the next without sharp edges, creating a seamless, unbroken night. The quiet of the city stretches evenly, wide enough for the imagination to drift freely. Thoughts become slower, more diffuse, without sharp focus or pressing concern. Muscles relax gently as the body syncs with the measured rhythm of the streets, lamps, and structures. Breathing deepens naturally, slow and steady, following the unhurried pulse of the surrounding world. Time itself seems different here. Inside homes, clocks mark hours in soft, deliberate movements that barely register to the mind. Their hands move slowly, invisible yet reliable, matching the calm of the streets and buildings. There is no need to watch them or count the minutes. The night stretches without edges, carrying awareness smoothly forward. Moments blend together, forming a protective blanket of calm that allows the mind to drift comfortably without expectation. Even in the larger spaces of Rome, such as forums and courtyards, the city's quiet harmony remains. Columns stand firm and unchanged, marble steps remain empty, and the fountains continue their gentle, repetitive flow. Benches sit unoccupied, shadows hold their shapes. Every stone seems aware of its place, contributing to the overall feeling of steadiness. Nothing seeks attention. Nothing disturbs the continuous, even passage of hours. The longer one imagines the city in this state, the deeper the sense of rest becomes. Every corner, every street, every courtyard aligns with the others in silent cooperation. The city does not move for activity or ceremony. It does not demand recognition or action. Instead, it simply exists, holding itself together as a single, coherent presence. This unity is subtle but unmistakable, grounding the mind in an even, calm reality. The air continues to carry the soft warmth of daytime, slowly fading, cooling evenly across rooftops and streets. Windows reflect faint lamplight without glare. Stone walls hold temperature and shadow consistently. Even small details like the slight sway of leaves or the gentle ripple of water in fountains follow the unhurried pace of the city. Every sound is muted, every movement minimal. The rhythm of night is maintained, steady and patient. As the city rests together, the mind finds space to release tension. Thoughts stretch gently, losing sharp edges. The body relaxes fully, guided by the steady collective calm. Awareness drifts alongside the slow passage of time, following the natural pace of the streets, walls, and lamplight. Each inhalation and exhalation aligns with the quiet pulse of the city. The mind floats effortlessly through wide, even hours. Rome, in its still unity, becomes a soft anchor for imagination. The streets, buildings, lamps, and fountains work together to create an environment where nothing demands attention and nothing moves abruptly. The night continues unbroken, smooth and even. Sleep arrives naturally alongside the calm as the city holds still together, patient, protective, and unchanging. Each moment reinforces peace. Each breath draws the body deeper into rest. Each thought softens until the mind and body merge fully with the slow, steady rhythm of the sleeping city. In this silence, in this steady, patient night, Rome offers itself completely to the imagination. Everything remains as it should, quiet and unified. Nothing changes, nothing interrupts, and nothing begins or ends. The city itself becomes the perfect guide for deep, peaceful, untroubled sleep, carrying awareness naturally into rest without effort or distraction. As the quiet of Rome stretches across the night, the city holds itself completely still. Every street, every courtyard, every lamp and every stone remains exactly where it has rested for hours. There is no movement demanding attention. The air is cool and even, carrying no sudden sounds or scents. The buildings, both grand and simple, remain unchanged. Windows show either soft, steady light or darkness, and doors remain firmly closed. The city itself seems aware of the gentle night, moving only in the soft pulse of time, yet even not movement feels unnoticeable. Within this calm, the body begins to feel heavier. Muscles release tension slowly, one after another, sinking into a relaxed state without thought or effort. Breathing deepens naturally, flowing evenly with the steady rhythm of the night. Each inhale feels calm, each exhale carries away any remaining tension. The sense of weight spreads from the shoulders, through the back, down to the legs, and finally into the feet. Even the smallest movements become unnecessary as the body rests fully in the safety of the quiet city. Thoughts begin to stretch out and lose their edges. The mind is no longer sharp, no longer needing to track events, make decisions, or observe the passage of time. Ideas drift slowly, blending seamlessly into one another. Memories of the day, of the bustling streets, of voices and footsteps, all soften and fade gently into the background. Nothing requires attention, and nothing is pressing. The imagination becomes free to float, carried by the steady, unchanging rhythm of the city and the night. In every courtyard, every temple, every forum, and every quiet home, the same gentle calm prevails. Fountains murmur slowly and evenly. Leaves sway slightly in light breezes before settling immediately into stillness. The glow of oil lamps stretches softly across stone paths and walls, illuminating nothing abruptly, disturbing nothing. Even the distant hills beyond the city appear patient and unchanged, holding their shapes without any rush. Every corner of the city exists in harmony, reinforcing the wide, unhurried rhythm of the night. The passage of time continues unnoticed. Inside homes, clocks mark hours in small, careful steps, almost invisible to the mind. There is no ticking to interrupt the quiet. Minutes slide into each other without sharp edges. The mind feels that time is wide and gentle, stretching infinitely in all directions. Awareness softens as sleep becomes the natural companion of the calm night. No expectation presses upon the imagination, and nothing demands engagement. Every heartbeat, every gentle breath, every faint sound from the distant city merges into a single, unbroken flow. The longer the imagination rests here, the deeper the relaxation becomes. Thoughts lose form entirely, spreading lazily across the mind like soft clouds. Awareness itself feels diffuse and wide, as if floating above the city. The body follows without effort, sinking further into comfort with each slow inhalation and exhalation. The mind no longer needs to follow anything, no longer anticipates any events. The rhythm of ancient Rome's night becomes the perfect lullaby, a steady pulse that carries everything gently forward. Even the faintest details of the city contribute to this sense of security and calm. The marble steps of temples, cool and empty, remain unchanged. Streets stretch silently, stones smooth beneath imagined feet. Courtyards sit enclosed, fountains flowing slowly, and the occasional swaying leaves return quickly to stillness. The glow of oil lamps stretches softly across stone paths and walls, illuminating nothing abruptly, disturbing nothing. Even the distant hills beyond the city appear patient and unchanged, holding their shapes without any rush. Every corner of the city exists in harmony, reinforcing the wide, unhurried rhythm of the night.